There is a moment in life when you must stop explaining yourself to people who have already decided to misunderstand you. Toxic people do not lose respect because you fight harder. They lose respect when they realize your boundaries are unshakable. In this teaching, I will show you the one powerful practice that transforms the way others treat you and protects your inner peace. 1. The hidden reason. Toxic people test your boundaries. There is something important you must understand about human behavior. People do not always treat you according to who you are. Many times they treat you according to what you allow. This is a difficult truth to accept, because many people believe that if they are kind enough, patient enough, understanding enough, others will naturally respect them. But life does not always work this way. Kindness without awareness can become an invitation for others to take advantage of you. Compassion without boundaries can become a place where others continue to harm you. And a peaceful person without inner strength can become someone who is constantly disturbed by the actions of others. Look carefully at nature. A tree does not need to shout to protect itself. A mountain does not need to prove its strength. A river does not argue with every stone in its path. Everything in nature has its own position, its own boundary, its own way of existing. But many human beings have forgotten this. They give too much. They tolerate too much. They remain silent when something inside them knows that something is wrong. And slowly, they teach others that their limits can be crossed. This is how toxic relationships are created. Not because you are weak, not because you are not valuable, but because sometimes you have not yet learned how to protect your own energy. A toxic person often does not begin by showing their full behavior. They test. They look for small openings. They may make a disrespectful comment and watch your reaction. They may ignore your needs and see if you continue to give. They may cross a small boundary and observe whether you will say anything. They are unconsciously learning one thing. How much can I do before this person responds? This is why boundaries are not only words. Boundaries are a message. They tell others, this is where I stand. This is what I accept. This is what I do not allow into my life. Many people misunderstand boundaries. They think boundaries are walls built from anger. They think boundaries mean becoming cold. They think boundaries mean rejecting everyone. But true boundaries do not come from hatred. They come from self-respect. A person with strong boundaries does not need to become aggressive. They do not need to insult others. They do not need to create conflict everywhere they go. Their power comes from being clear. Imagine someone walking into your home without permission. Would you simply smile and allow them to destroy everything inside? Of course not. Your home has value. Your space has value. Your peace has value. But many people protect their physical home more carefully than they protect their own mind. They allow negative words to enter. They allow manipulation to enter. They allow constant criticism to enter. They allow people who drain their energy to remain close. And then they wonder why they feel exhausted. The mind is also a place you must protect. Your attention is precious. Your emotions are precious. Your life energy is precious. Do not give unlimited access to people who have no respect for what they receive. But there is another important point. Toxic people are often not interested in your explanations. You may spend hours trying to make them understand your feelings. You may carefully explain why something hurt you. You may try to show them your perspective. But a person who benefits from ignoring your boundaries will often avoid understanding them, because understanding would require change, and change would require responsibility. So instead of asking, how can I make this person finally understand me? Ask a deeper question. Why am I continuing to give someone the power to disturb my peace? This question changes everything. Because the moment you stop focusing on controlling their behavior, you begin to take responsibility for your own. You cannot control whether someone chooses to be disrespectful. You cannot control whether someone chooses to be dishonest. You cannot control whether someone chooses to criticize you. But you can control your response. You can control your distance. You can control your access. You can control where you place your energy. This is where your inner strength begins. Many people believe power comes from making others afraid. But real power is not making someone fear you. Real power is becoming someone who does not need another person's approval to feel complete. When you no longer depend on someone else's acceptance, their ability to manipulate you becomes much smaller. Think about it. Why does a person become angry when someone does not respect them? Often because they are searching for something outside themselves. They want recognition. They want validation. They want someone else to confirm their worth. But your worth was never created by another person's opinion. If someone fails to see your value, that does not reduce your value. If someone speaks badly about you, that does not define who you are. If someone tries to pull you into chaos, that does not mean you must enter. A calm mind is a protected mind, and a protected mind is difficult to control. The first step is becoming aware of the patterns. Notice who leaves you feeling smaller after every conversation. Notice who only respects you when you are useful to them. Notice who becomes kind only when they need something. Notice who becomes uncomfortable when you begin to say no. These signs reveal something important. They reveal where your boundaries are being tested. But awareness alone is not enough. Because even when you see the problem, another struggle appears. The struggle of letting go of the need to be accepted, and this is where many people lose their power because they are not controlled by the toxic person, they are controlled by their own desire to be liked. 2. Stop seeking approval and reclaim your inner authority. Many people spend their entire lives searching for permission, permission to speak, permission to choose, permission to be themselves. They wait for someone to say, "You are good enough. You are doing the right thing. You are allowed to walk your own path." But if you spend your life waiting for approval, you give away the most important responsibility you have, the responsibility of trusting yourself. A person who constantly seeks approval becomes easy to influence, because their decisions are no longer guided by inner wisdom. They are guided by fear. Fear of rejection, fear of criticism, fear of disappointing others, fear of being misunderstood. And when fear becomes the foundation of your actions, you begin to abandon yourself. You say yes when your heart says no. You stay silent when your truth needs to be spoken. You accept behavior that hurts you because you are afraid of losing someone. But ask yourself, what kind of connection requires you to lose yourself in order to keep it? A healthy relationship does not require you to disappear. A healthy relationship allows you to stand fully as yourself. This is why inner authority is so important. Inner authority means you become the person who leads your own life. Not your fears, not other people's opinions, not the expectations placed upon you. You listen, you learn, you remain open. But deep inside, you know where you stand. This does not mean you become stubborn. A wise person can accept advice. A wise person can admit mistakes. A wise person can continue learning. But there is a difference between humility and insecurity. Humility says, I can learn from others. Insecurity says, I need others to tell me I am valuable. One creates growth, the other creates dependence. Many people who experience disrespect from toxic individuals have one hidden pattern. They are constantly trying to prove their goodness. They want to prove they are kind. They want to prove they are helpful. They want to prove they are worthy of love. But when you constantly prove yourself, you silently tell others, my value is something you can judge. And this creates a dangerous imbalance. Your value is not something people give you. Your value is something you recognize within yourself. A person who knows their worth behaves differently. They do not chase every person who walks away. They do not beg someone to understand their heart. They do not fight every accusation. They do not spend all their energy defending their existence. They become calm because they are rooted. A tree with deep roots does not panic when the wind arrives. The branches may move, the leaves may shake, but the foundation remains. This is the kind of strength you must build inside yourself. Because toxic people often look for emotional reactions. They look for the moment when you lose control. They want you to become angry. They want you to become defensive. They want you to explain yourself again and again. Why? Because emotional chaos gives them influence. But when you become centered, when you stop needing to convince everyone, something changes. Their ability to disturb you becomes weaker. Imagine someone holding a rope and trying to pull you into an argument. If you grab the other end, a struggle begins. But if you simply release the rope, the struggle ends. This does not mean you are giving up. It means you are choosing where your energy belongs. Not every battle deserves your attention. Not every opinion deserves your response. Not every person deserves access to your peace. This is a powerful realization. Because many people waste their lives trying to win against people who were never interested in understanding them. They argue with people who only want conflict. They explain themselves to people who only want control. They seek approval from people who are uncomfortable with their growth. At some point, you must ask yourself, am I trying to be understood, or am I trying to be accepted? These are not the same. Being understood is a beautiful experience, but needing everyone to understand you is a prison. There will always be people who misunderstand your silence. They may call your boundaries selfish. They may call your confidence arrogance. They may call your growth a change for the worse. But remember, a person who benefits from your lack of boundaries will often dislike the moment you create them. This is natural. When you change your position, people who were comfortable with the old version of you may resist, but their resistance does not mean you are wrong. Sometimes discomfort is the sign that something unhealthy is being removed. The journey towards self-respect begins when you stop asking, how do I make everyone happy? And start asking, how do I remain true to myself while still acting with compassion? This is the balance. Strong but not cruel. Kind but not easily controlled. Open but not unprotected. Peaceful but not powerless. When you build this inner authority, you no longer walk into relationships hoping others will treat you well. You walk knowing what you will accept and what you will leave behind. And when a person truly knows their own value, they no longer need to announce it, because their presence speaks before their words do. But there is a deeper skill that separates those who are easily controlled from those who remain unshaken. It is the ability to stay calm when someone tries to pull you into their storm. 3. The power of calm silence over emotional reaction. There is a moment in every person's life. A moment when someone says something hurtful. A moment when someone tries to provoke you. A moment when someone crosses a line and expects you to react, and in that moment, you are given a choice. You can return their energy, or you can remain connected to your own. This small moment reveals a great deal about your inner strength. Many people believe power means having the strongest response. They believe power means having the perfect words. They believe power means defeating someone in an argument. But true power is not found in how loudly you can respond. True power is found in how deeply you can remain peaceful. A person who controls your emotions, controls your attention. A person who can make you lose your balance, can influence your actions. And this is why emotional control is one of the greatest forms of personal freedom. Look at a calm lake. When the surface is still, it reflects the sky clearly. But when someone throws a stone into the water, the reflection disappears. The water becomes disturbed. The same thing happens inside the human mind. When someone throws anger toward you, when someone throws criticism toward you, when someone throws disrespect toward you, if your mind is already unstable, you immediately become disturbed. You react, you defend, you attack, you say things you later regret. And after the moment passes, you realize something important. The other person did not only hurt you, they also took your peace. But who gave them that power? This is a question worth sitting with, because many people think their suffering comes only from what others do, but often, a deeper suffering comes from how quickly we surrender control of ourselves. Someone can speak, someone can criticize, someone can misunderstand you. But between their action and your reaction, there is a space, a small space, a moment of awareness. And inside that space is your freedom. The practice is not to become emotionless. A human being will feel. You will feel sadness, you will feel anger, you will feel disappointment. The goal is not to remove emotions. The goal is to stop becoming a prisoner of them. Your emotions are visitors. They come, they stay for a while, and they leave. But many people treat emotions as permanent residents. When anger arrives, they become anger. When fear arrives, they become fear. When sadness arrives, they believe they are broken. But you are not the emotion. You are the awareness that observes the emotion. This understanding creates distance, and distance creates choice. Imagine someone standing in front of you shouting. Their voice is loud, their words are sharp, their energy is chaotic. If you immediately absorb that energy, their chaos becomes your chaos. But if you remain centered, you begin to see clearly. You notice this person is acting from their own state of mind. This person's behavior is revealing their own inner condition. This does not need to become my burden. This is not weakness. This is wisdom. A person who cannot control their emotions is easily controlled by others. But a person who can remain calm in difficult moments becomes very difficult to manipulate. This is why toxic people often try to create emotional storms. They want you to react quickly. Because when you react without awareness, you give away your strength. Think about a person trying to start a fire. Fire needs something to burn. Without fuel, the fire cannot continue. Emotional conflict is similar. Anger feeds anger. Fear feeds fear. Reaction feeds more reaction. But when you bring calmness, the cycle begins to weaken. This does not mean allowing people to disrespect you. Remember, calmness and acceptance are not the same thing. A calm person can still say no. A calm person can still walk away. A calm person can still protect themselves. The difference is, they act from clarity, not from uncontrolled emotion. There is a great difference between responding and reacting. Reaction is automatic. It comes from old habits. It comes from wounds. It comes from the need to defend your ego. Response comes from awareness. It comes from choosing your action. A reaction says, "You hurt me, so I must hurt you." A response says, "I see what is happening, and I will choose my next step wisely." This is where maturity begins. You stop asking, "How can I make them feel what I feel?" And you start asking, "What action protects my peace and reflects who I want to become?" This question changes your relationships, because when you stop fighting every battle, you begin to save your energy for what truly matters. Many people lose years of their lives in emotional battles. They replay conversations in their minds. They imagine different answers. They carry anger from yesterday into today. They allow one person's words to occupy their thoughts for days. But ask yourself, is that person still controlling your life even when they are not present? If the answer is yes, then the conflict has moved from outside of you into your own mind. And this is where inner practice becomes important. You must learn to return to yourself, return to your breath, return to your body, return to the present moment. When you feel triggered, pause. Not because you are afraid, not because you are weak, but because you understand that your next action creates your next experience. Take a breath. Observe. Ask, is this response coming from wisdom or from my wounded emotions? This one question can prevent many unnecessary conflicts. A person who masters themselves does not need to prove strength through anger. They carry a different kind of strength, a quiet strength, the strength of someone who knows, I do not need to become what I dislike. I do not need to return negativity with negativity. I do not need to lose myself because someone else has lost control. This is the kind of presence that people notice, because calmness is powerful. When everyone around you is reacting and you remain steady, people feel something different. They sense that you are not easily moved. They sense that your energy belongs to you, and this is where respect begins to grow. Not because you forced anyone to respect you, but because you demonstrated that you respect yourself. However, calmness alone is not enough. A person can be calm, yet still allow others to repeatedly cross their boundaries. A person can be peaceful, yet still avoid difficult conversations. A person can be patient, yet still carry hidden resentment. Inner strength requires another quality, the courage to create clear limits without losing your compassion. Because peace without boundaries can become silent suffering, and that is where many people remain trapped. 4. Set boundaries without anger, fear, or guilt. A boundary is not a punishment. A boundary is not a weapon. A boundary is an expression of self-respect. Many people misunderstand this because they have seen boundaries created through anger. They have seen people say, I will never speak to you again. I will make you regret what you did. I will show you who I am. But these words often come from a wounded place. A true boundary does not need hatred. It does not need revenge. It does not need an audience. A true boundary is quiet. It simply says, this is what I allow into my life. This is what I choose to protect. This is where I stand. Think about a garden. A gardener creates a fence around the garden. Why? Not because the gardener hates the outside world. The fence exists because something valuable is growing inside. Your mind is the same. Your heart is the same. Your time is the same. There are things within you that need protection. Your peace, your focus, your energy, your purpose. Without boundaries, anyone can enter, anyone can take, anyone can disturb. And slowly, you become disconnected from yourself. Many people struggle with boundaries because they fear being seen as a bad person. They think, if I say no, they will be disappointed. If I protect myself, they will think I am selfish. If I step away, I will hurt them. But let us examine this carefully. Is it truly kindness to continue allowing unhealthy behavior? Is it truly compassion to allow someone to damage both themselves and you? Sometimes the most respectful thing you can do is create distance. Sometimes love does not mean staying close. Sometimes wisdom means knowing when to step back. A boundary does not say, "You are worthless." A boundary says, "This behavior cannot continue in my presence." This difference is important because you are not rejecting a person's humanity. You are choosing what kind of energy you allow around you. A person with healthy boundaries does not spend all their time explaining. They communicate clearly. They observe the response, and then they act accordingly. For example, someone repeatedly speaks to you disrespectfully. You explain once. You express how it affects you. You make your position clear. If the behavior continues, the boundary is not more explanation. The boundary is action. Perhaps you create distance. Perhaps you reduce contact. Perhaps you stop giving access to certain parts of your life. A boundary without action is only a wish. Your actions teach people how to interact with you. This does not mean becoming harsh. It means becoming consistent. Many people say, "I told them not to treat me that way." But then they continue accepting the same behavior. The message becomes unclear. Your words say one thing, your actions say another. People learn from what you repeatedly allow. This is why consistency matters. When you become consistent with your boundaries, something inside you changes. You begin to trust yourself. You begin to believe, "My needs matter. My peace matters. My voice matters." And this inner trust is powerful, because when you trust yourself, you no longer need everyone else to agree with you. You can handle someone's disappointment. You can handle someone's misunderstanding. You can handle someone walking away, because you know you did not abandon yourself. This is one of the deepest forms of freedom. Many people are afraid of losing others, but they do not realize that sometimes the greatest loss is losing yourself while trying to keep someone else. A relationship that requires you to constantly betray your own values is not a place of true connection. Connection should allow two people to exist with honesty, not one person shrinking so the other can feel comfortable. Remember, a person who is used to your silence may become uncomfortable when you speak. A person who benefited from your weakness may resist your strength. A person who enjoyed your lack of boundaries may call your boundaries a problem, but their reaction does not determine your decision. Their discomfort does not mean your growth is wrong. Sometimes people are not upset because you changed. They are upset because they can no longer use the old version of you. This is why boundaries require courage, not the courage to fight, but the courage to remain steady, the courage to disappoint others without abandoning yourself, the courage to choose peace over constant approval. When you create boundaries from a calm place, you do not become smaller. You become clearer, your relationships become clearer, your life becomes clearer. You begin to understand that respect is not something you demand through force. Respect is something you cultivate through the way you carry yourself. The person who knows their value does not chase respect. They embody it. They walk with awareness. They speak with intention. They protect their energy. And when someone tries to cross their boundary, they do not need anger to respond. They simply remember who they are, because the strongest boundary is not the wall you build around yourself. It is the strength you build within yourself. And that strength changes the way the world responds to you. 5. Master your energy before you try to change others. There is a very important understanding that many people discover only after years of struggle. You cannot control the world around you until you learn how to control the world within you. Many people spend their lives trying to change other people. They want others to become more respectful. They want others to become more understanding. They want others to stop hurting them. And there is nothing wrong with wishing for better relationships. But the problem begins when your peace depends completely on someone else's behavior, because then you give your inner balance to something you cannot control. A person who does not understand their own energy will always be affected by the energy of others. Someone is angry they become angry. Someone is negative. They become negative. Someone is afraid. They begin to carry that fear. They become like a mirror that reflects everything around them. But a person who has trained their mind, a person who has developed awareness, a person who knows their own center, can stand in the middle of chaos and remain calm. This is the real meaning of mastering your energy. It is not about becoming cold. It is not about disconnecting from people. It is not about pretending you have no emotions. It is about knowing what belongs to you and what does not. Many people carry emotions that were never theirs. They carry the anger of their parents. They carry the criticism of people from their past. They carry the expectations of society. They carry the judgment of people who do not even understand their own lives. And slowly, they become exhausted. Not because life is too heavy, but because they are carrying things they were never meant to carry. Imagine walking through life with a heavy bag on your back. Every negative comment, every rejection, every insult, every disappointment, you place it inside the bag. After many years, you wonder why you feel tired. But the question is, who told you that you must carry everything? A wise person learns how to put things down. They learn to say, "This belongs to someone else. This emotion is not mine. This opinion does not define me." This is where freedom begins. Your energy is one of your most valuable resources. Where you place your attention, that is where your life energy flows. If you constantly focus on people who hurt you, you continue giving them power. Even when they are not around, they are still living inside your mind. But when you bring your attention back to yourself, you reclaim your strength. This is why inner practice is so important. Before you try to fix the outside world, learn to stabilize your own inner world. When your mind is clear, your decisions become clearer. When your emotions are balanced, your actions become wiser. When your energy is protected, you stop being easily influenced. A person who has mastered their energy does not walk into every situation with an open emotional door. They observe, they listen, they choose, they understand that every person carries their own condition. Some people speak from pain, some people act from insecurity, some people hurt others because they have never learned how to heal themselves. Understanding this does not mean accepting their behavior. Compassion does not mean allowing someone to destroy your peace. It simply means you do not allow their darkness to become your darkness. Think about holding a hot piece of coal. You may want to throw it at someone who hurt you. You may believe they deserve your anger. But before it reaches them, it burns your own hand. This is what happens when you hold on to resentment. You think you are punishing another person, but you are the one carrying the weight. Letting go does not mean saying what happened was acceptable. It means refusing to allow the experience to control your present moment. Your energy belongs to today, not yesterday, not to someone who hurt you years ago, not to someone who disappointed you, not to someone who failed to recognize your value. Your life is happening now, and your power exists now. This is why disciplined people protect their energy. They are careful about what they consume. They are careful about the conversations they enter. They are careful about the thoughts they repeat, because they understand. Everything you repeatedly allow into your mind shapes who you become. If you constantly listen to negativity, you begin to think negatively. If you constantly surround yourself with conflict, you begin to lose your peace. If you constantly seek approval, you begin to forget your own voice. Your environment influences you. Your habits influence you. Your thoughts influence you. So choose carefully, not from fear, but from wisdom. There is a saying in martial arts, the strongest fighter is not the one who reacts to every movement. The strongest fighter is the one who remains centered. the one who observes, the one who waits, the one who acts only when action is needed. Life is the same. Not every comment deserves an answer. Not every insult deserves your attention. Not every person deserves access to your energy. Sometimes the most powerful response is simply refusing to participate. A person who is constantly trying to prove themselves is easy to control because their energy is always outside of themselves. They are asking, what do they think of me? Did they approve of me? Did I say the right thing? But a person who is centered asks, am I acting according to my values? Am I protecting my peace? Am I becoming the person I want to become? This is the shift from external control to inner mastery. And when this shift happens, something changes in your presence. You become calmer, you become more focused, you become less desperate for acceptance. People notice this because true confidence is not loud. It does not need to announce itself. It does not need to convince everyone. It simply exists like a mountain. The mountain does not need to tell anyone that it is strong. It stands quietly, steadily, unmoved by every passing storm. This is the energy you must develop, because when you master yourself, people cannot easily manipulate you. But there is one final level of strength, the ability to become someone whose inner stability is so strong that even those who try to control you lose their influence completely. 6. Become someone toxic people cannot manipulate or disrespect. There is a different way to live. A way where you no longer spend your life defending yourself. A way where you no longer chase people who do not value you. A way where you no longer feel the need to prove your worth. This way begins with one understanding. Your greatest protection is not what you say. Your greatest protection is who you become. Many people search for the perfect words. They ask, what should I say so this person respects me? What sentence will make them understand? What response will make them stop? But the deepest change does not come from finding the perfect sentence. It comes from building the kind of character that does not invite disrespect. A person with strong inner awareness carries themselves differently. Their posture is different. Their energy is different. Their decisions are different. They are not controlled by fear. They are not controlled by the desire to please everyone. They are not controlled by the need to be accepted. This creates a powerful presence, because people can sense when someone truly respects themselves. Respect begins within. If you constantly betray yourself, if you constantly ignore your own needs, if you constantly accept what hurts you, then deep inside you send yourself a message. My feelings do not matter. But when you begin honoring yourself, you send a different message. I have value. Oh, I deserve honesty. I deserve respect. I deserve peace. And the world often responds to the relationship you have with yourself. This does not mean everyone will suddenly become kind. There will always be people who test limits. There will always be people who misunderstand. There will always be people who try to take advantage. But the difference is, they no longer find the same person they used to find. They meet someone who is awake, someone who notices, someone who chooses, someone who is not easily pulled into emotional games. Manipulation often works through 3 things: fear, guilt, confusion. A person may try to make you afraid of losing them. They may try to make you feel guilty for protecting yourself. They may create confusion so you question your own reality. But when you are connected to yourself, these methods become weaker. You become able to pause and ask, is this truly my responsibility? Am I acting from love or from fear? Am I being guided by truth or by pressure? These questions create space, and in that space, you regain your power. A person who cannot be manipulated understands something important. Not every problem needs to be solved. Not every accusation needs to be answered. Not every person needs to be convinced. Sometimes silence is wisdom. Sometimes distance is wisdom. Sometimes walking away is wisdom. Your peace is not something you should sacrifice to prove that you are a good person. A good person can have boundaries. A compassionate person can say no. A peaceful person can leave unhealthy situations. Strength does not mean allowing everything. Strength means knowing what deserves your energy. There is a difference between being kind and being available for everyone. A candle gives light, but it does not burn itself away for every person who enters the room. You must learn the same lesson. Give, support, love, but do not destroy yourself in the process. Your life has a purpose beyond managing other people's emotions. You were not born to spend every day trying to keep everyone comfortable. You were born to grow, to learn, to develop wisdom, to become more aware. The people who truly belong in your life will not require you to become smaller. They will appreciate your strength. They will respect your boundaries. They will allow you to be yourself. And those who leave because you finally respect yourself were often connected to the version of you that did not respect yourself. This realization can be painful, but it can also be freeing, because sometimes losing certain relationships creates space for healthier ones. Sometimes closing one door protects the peace you have been searching for. Remember, a person who knows their worth does not need to fight for every place they are not respected. They simply choose a better place. They do not need revenge. They do not need to prove anything. They simply continue walking their path. Calm, focused, strong. This is the person toxic energy cannot control. This is the person disrespect cannot break, because their foundation is no longer built on other people's opinions. It is built on inner wisdom. And when your foundation is strong, the storms of other people cannot move you. Conclusion. The journey to dealing with toxic people is not about becoming harder. It is about becoming wiser. Protect your boundaries, control your reactions, master your energy, build a relationship with yourself where respect begins from within. When you become peaceful, clear, and grounded, you no longer need to force people to respect you. Your presence speaks for you. If this message brought value to your life, support this channel by subscribing and share this teaching with someone who may need these words today. Because sometimes one moment of awareness can change the direction of an entire life.